Welcome. It is Tuesday, and you are on the Success Secrets for Business, Family, and Life channel. And this is the Coffee Break Show. I'm Vickie Helm. I'm so glad you're here today. This is brought to you by the Metadime Digital Network. I'm so glad you're here. If you're on whatever page you're on, we go live Monday through Friday, and we share tips, tools, techniques, and we give inspiration, motivation, and talk about the things that are going to help you thrive in the future, that thrive through the pandemic economy. We are working with you to have some fun, and we want you to join us. So put your name down below so we can meet you and get to know you, and welcome to the conversation. We have conversations on this show. We don't just have a show, we have conversations on this show. And today's topic is, I just don't feel like it. I just don't feel like it. This right now, I think, is one of the things that stops everybody from achieving the success that they want. Today, we're going to talk about that in 3, 2, 1. And so now I want to be able to start the show off. I want to start the show off with this. If you're just new here, you're signing in, do me a favor, say hello. If you're here every day and you're one of our fans, thank you for being here. Just join the conversation. I want to talk about some other show, though. I want to talk about the Metadime Digital Network. If you go to the Success Secrets for Business, Family, and Life channel, you'll see that there are other shows in there outside of mine. And yesterday, somebody did, I don't know if you guys know Scott Stevens, but he did the Another Perspective show. And it was probably one of the decade's most important shows that I've ever seen. And if you haven't seen it, I'm telling you right now at the beginning of the Coffee Break Show, you want to go into Success Secrets for Business, Family, and Life, and you want to watch yesterday's episode. So that would be, what is today, the 21st? So it'd be the 20th. You want to see that episode right there. The reason I think it's so valuable is because it talks about the future and the wobbliness and the strength of, and you'll get to see, learn, and discover some of the things you need to look out for to make it easier for you to come out of this and grow in this, or create thrivability in this upcoming economy. And if you don't know anything about Scott Stevens, he is a whistleblower. He's also an economist and a journalist as well. And he has been, some of the best economic research you're going to find is with him in this show. And if you haven't seen Another Perspective, please just go check out that show and check him out every single week. The guy's amazing. So I want to continue. Hi, I can't hear. Is it my phone? Well, I hope not, because I'm hoping everybody hears me. Robin, do me a favor and give me a sound check if you can hear me on the phone, because Risa can't hear. Is it my phone? I'm not sure. The volume might help. And Risa needs another cup of tea. Okay, so glad that you're here today. I wanted to talk about what I do when I just don't feel like it. Like, I don't feel like doing that. I don't feel like, working hard, and I don't feel like just saying, I just don't feel like it. I want to go lay down and give it up and, just be, myself and lazy. And that laziness is the thing that I am the killer of. I am not going to be lazy. And sometimes because of that, you don't know what to do. And so what'll end up happening is you'll be battling your, I don't feel like it. I don't feel like making that blog post. I don't feel like writing that chapter. I don't feel like going to work out. I don't feel like cooking food. I don't feel like, a lot of times we live a life of I don't feel like, and we only do the stuff we feel like doing. Like, I feel like eating that candy bar. I feel like going to that movie. I feel like, drinking too much wine. I feel like, hey, I just want to say hi to Anna, who's kind of here on a part-time basis today. Hello. Nice to see you, my friend. Can't stick around today, but just wanted to take a minute to say hello. We'll watch the recording later. Thank you. Hashtag replay if you're watching the recording later. Hashtag replay. And we have our usual people on today. Nice to see you all. Reese is on, Karen's on, Robin's on. thank you. I would do this right here. I'd never put Vickie and the lazy in the same sentence. Thank you. Thank you. But when you get those moments, the reason I do not let lazy hit me, or I don't listen to the I don't feel like it, because when you start living an I don't feel like it life, you start living in your comfort zone. And your comfort zone is the only place you want to be. I don't feel like it. I don't feel like doing that. You start telling yourself something that helps you feel burdenous about doing something. Hey, nice to see you. I like this. I'm lurking. Happy Taco Tuesday and the day before your birthday. Thank you. It is Happy Taco Tuesday birthday. Usual good morning. Nice to see you guys on. So with a capital never, thank you. And the reason I do that is one time, I can't even remember who told me this, but it was an earlier writer. And I studied people who had created best-selling books. And I wanted to find out, what is their secret? What are they doing? How are they doing this? How are they creating their methodology of writing best-selling books? Because I knew if I learned that, then I suddenly would be okay at writing. And so I'd have a hook. I'd know how to do the sculpting of a book. But then sitting down one day, I remember thinking, man, I just don't have the creativity today. It doesn't matter what I do. I just can't it's just not coming to me. And so I got up and I thought that I had something called writer's block. And something called writer's block, I just didn't have the creativity coming to me. Suddenly, someone told me something that was very important. They were like, if you're giving into that bull crap of you not having, they use the S word, not crap, but you know what I mean. They said to me, they said to everyone, he was saying it to everybody in the audience. He was like, listen, if you do that, you're giving into a lie and you're telling your brain to shut off. And therefore, you have no creativity. When you demand creativity, that's when creativity comes. And I was like, hey, that is like something I never thought of. I kept giving in to the lazy part of my brain that just said, I didn't feel like it. I don't feel like it. And what an convenient excuse to say, you know what? I have writer's block right now. I don't feel like it. I need to go for a bike ride or, be blissful for a while and put this down and go off and find my inner purpose and creativity. I have to man up and kind of find my spirituality to write that chapter. You are fooling yourself with your own, I don't feel like it. And you're like, gosh, I don't feel like writing this chapter. Well, I don't like writing books. I write a lot of them. Because it's the tool of my profession that I use to get my message out. And I like the aftermath of it. I love when the message is out and it's helping people go through their changes or problems or whatever else it is. But it doesn't mean that every single time I sit down, I'm like, oh, I just turn on my creativity button. I have to demand it from me. And it's the same with working out. So like we talked about, we moved the show 4 weeks ago. We moved it from 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock. So I could go bike riding every day. And it is hey, nice to see you, Ryan. Great to see that you're on today. Thank you, my friend. But what happens is I decided that I was going to start mountain biking because I wanted to go outside and play. And I was working from sun up to midnight 30. So now I start my day every single day going outside to play first. And for me, going outside to play, this 4 weeks, we did 165 miles the last 4 weeks. We did about 8 miles a day. And so that's an average 8 miles a day. Some days I did 5 miles. Some days I did 12 miles. It depended on the day and the amount of time I had and my skill level, because you get better over a period of time. Your legs get stronger and you can go a little further. And there's this time this morning I got up and I was so tired. And yesterday we did, 10, 12 miles, and we did about a 3% grade. It was, pretty uphill. And I thought to myself, man, I just don't feel like getting out of bed. I just don't feel like it. And sometimes when there's hard work to do, you're never going to feel like it. There are some days you're going to be out there going, oh God, I have to do this. And I really don't want to. I want to just hang out with my friends and have lunch or just, unwind. And I'm not saying don't have downtime. Always have downtime. Downtime is important, but call yourself out on the truth. If you can demand from you the direction you want to go, you're actually going to get there. And I know when people hear the word demand, they're like, oh, well, you're just confronting yourself. You're mean with yourself. I'm calling myself out. I believe every person has a higher self and a lower self or a shadow self, whatever it is. I think that's the human condition. And I think what happens is when you give this voice, you raise up. And when you give this voice, this negative thing, it lowers your life. And oftentimes, your comfort zone is not here. Your comfort zone isn't here. This is your comfort zone. Is that part of you that's just going to, oh, well, I guess I'll keep myself trapped in this little thing, trapped in this little world, trapped in this little life because I'm too, it's too painful. It feels burdensome to go ahead and go that extra mile. Excuse me, I got to get a drink of water here. So, what happens when you get there? What do you do? I don't let myself literally, at first, it feels like you're beating yourself up, but I don't let myself have those I don't feel like it moments. Now, how do I separate an I don't feel like it moment from a I need to rest now? I need to just rest because that's what my body wants and I want. How do you know you're avoiding doing something and self-care? That's the dividing line that most people get confused. And if they're too hard on that, I'm not going to I just don't feel like it. I just don't feel like it. No, I'm going to push through. I'm going to push through. I'm going to push through. Sometimes pushing through is the most important thing you can do. Sometimes resting is the most important thing you can do. And it takes an overall moment of time where you are actually with yourself every single day working and saying, okay, here's my downtime because I have downtime every day. Here's my playtime. Here's my playtime every day. And your mind and your consciousness and your soul they know when you're fooling yourself or not. And that's the thing that's there. I know when I'm like, oh God, I don't feel like it. I don't feel like working. There's sometimes I let myself off the hook because I've been working incessantly, just working. And today I don't feel like it. Well, great. Take a couple of hours downtime and suddenly you'll feel like doing it. It's like you got to know when to give yourself a break and when to call yourself out. And if you get to the point where you have I don't feel like it, you guys are talking over here, that dividing line. Yes. A great question about that dividing line. How do you get to the point? Well, I know this. Here's what I know. For me, when I know how to do something, like if I know exactly what the next chapter is going to be and how it's going to unfold and write it, I'm excited to do it. I get up there and I'm just, bam, I'll write that chapter and then bam, it's done and I'm proud of myself. If I'm insecure and I think I'm not sure how to get this chapter going, that's when I start avoiding. And I have this thing that if you know how to do something, you feel confident. And if you don't know how to do something, that's when you don't feel confident. And the excuses come out of when you don't know how to do something. The excuses of well, I don't know how to do it. It seems overwhelming, blah, blah, blah. Just admit to yourself, I'm scared because I don't know how to shape this or do this or discover how to do this. Excuse me. Just name what it is that you're afraid of. What are you scared of? Are you scared of what people are going to say about you or think about you or whatever story you're telling yourself? Whatever story you're telling yourself, you actually have to admit that you're telling a story and know that it's only a story. It's not really true. Nothing that your mind thinks is ever true. Everything is moldable, shapeable, figure outable, changeable, transformable. There is nothing that is stationary until your mind and you make it stationary. So, for instance, when I was younger, I just thought I was stupid. 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 I wasn't dyslexic. I wasn't anything else. I had just labeled myself stupid. And for years, imagine how that might self-sabotage you. Self-sabotage opportunities that you actually wanted to take or things that you wanted to do. I just want to go bam right here. But if you weed, you would be surprised by what you find. For instance, in our garden, we have discovered 4 wild edible plants that are excellent in exploding. If you don't cross the line, you'll never know what's on the other side. This is the whole point. This is why calling yourself out and, oh God, I don't feel like it. Now, Mel Robbins, I love her 5-second rule because I've used it. I'm like, okay, I don't feel like it. The second I feel that way, the second I say that, I'm like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, get up out of the bed, sit down at the writing table, get on that bicycle and do that extra mile, whatever you need to do. It's like, if you don't cross the line, you'll never know what is on the other side or what you're capable of on the other side. And the more that you actually win, the more you want to win. The more success you have, the more confident, and suddenly the more success you want to have. The more you push through on that factor, the more you do, the more you stretch that comfort zone, just like Donnie is saying right here. If you don't do it, you're never going to know what's on the other side, but you'll be envious of the people who have it on the other side because they were willing to push through in a way that you didn't. And that to me is huge. Let's see. This reminds me of the book, Make Your Bed, Little Things That Can Change Your Life. Yes. Admiral William McRaven and Eat That Frog, Brian Tracy, do it early and get it over with. And then my most recent favorite, the 5-second rule by Mel Robbins. Yes, this is what I was talking about. Do it before your brain comes on. You have to know that you're either going to run your brain or your brain is going to run you. Most people live a life where their brain runs them, so they can never achieve success. Success is when you start commanding your brain, not your brain commands you. You start telling it what to think about, what to find, what to follow, what to get, what to do, instead of it telling you what to be scared of, what to be angry with, what story is not true, or tripping your trigger. You know, every time that I go for a bike ride, if I'm out riding my bike, I always watch my mind and I always do my mantras in the morning. Money comes to me in increasing quantities from multiple sources on a continuous basis. Money comes to me from both expected and unexpected sources. I'm riding my bike and I'm doing my affirmations every morning, every single morning. Boom, 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 boom. The reason you want to be able to push yourself and move yourself and grow yourself is obviously so that you have more action taking, more chutzpah, more success. But we also have to make sure that our brain is something that we use as a tool, not that it's using us as a tool. And most people live the other way. Most people are out there living their life, letting their brain tell them how to feel, how to think, what to eat. Not only that, they give their brain to somebody else. And they let all these brands and products tell them how to live, what to wear, what kind of things they have to do, what kind of life they have to have, whether they're successful or not. And they're not successful if they don't buy this car, get this coat, get this purse, get these shoes. These are things where your brain is using you and not you using your brain. In the future, in order for you to get through this, you're going to have to be in command of you. But who is the you and who is the thing that needs to be commanded? Who is the you and who's the thing that needs to be commanded? Well, the spiritual part of you, your soul, that's who you are. You're just pretending to be whoever you are right now. You're like, hi, I'm Vickie Helm. This is my life that I'm Vickie Helm. When I die, there's not going to be another Vickie Helm that comes back. There's not going to be another personality that comes back, but the soul of me who played Vickie Helm, that person's still going to be alive. That's the person that goes to heaven or gets reborn or whatever it is that you believe happens. But the personality of you being, hi, this lifetime, I'm a woman and I'm Puerto Rican and I live in America and blah, blah, blah. That's just a story. It's a story of your lifetime for this lifetime, but it's not who you are. That's the story that needs to be commanded by you, the soul of you, the part of you that's saying, I want to do something in this world that's important and give back. I want to make a difference in the world. I want to be a writer. I want to be a this. And you have your I want to list. I want to this. I want to that. I want to the other. I want to. And then you start nailing down those I wannas. And the difference between I wanna and I have is you moving past the I just don't feel like it. The difference between your I wanna and I have is that I just don't feel like it. I don't feel like learning how to do this. I don't like learning how to do this. Guess what? The people who really win, do you think Oprah, who runs that big network, who started out as this impoverished farm girl with no mom and she was living with her grandma, do you think she got up every morning and got where she got by saying, I don't feel like doing it? No, she got up and realized what her opportunities were and just did it over and over and over and over and over and over again. And believe it or not, we are in times where we could benefit most. Hey, Brian, nice to see you. I love this. I have to read this from Brian. That story in your head, it's invented. It has to be. It might be based on some things that are actually happened. The story we tell ourselves might be a useful predictor now and then. The story might even have been put there against our wishes over time, but it can possibly be a complete detail understanding of everything. That's why it's a narrative. It's a shorthand, a map, not the territory. It is filled with shortcuts and misreading, a personal myth about you and your role in the world. Thank you, by the way. And I know there's more underneath this here that I can't see yet. And Brian, thank you for being here, buddy. I was thinking about you this morning. I have implemented a few of your strategies and I was going to write you a note and tell you my results. And I just wanted, now that you're here, I'm just going to interrupt our regularly broadcast schedule thing and say, thank you for giving me such incredible tools. It's been really good to play with them and use them. Let's see. Moving back into the conversation, I wanna and I have. I wanna and I have. Only merge the end of the I've done it. So I like this. I wanna and I have. Only merge the end of the I've done it. That's right. That's it. I wanna and I have. You must have a sunburn from riding your mountain bike this morning. I do a little bit. We were out in the sun. We were down on 65. It was a great ride. It was really fun. People who do what no one else will do are the ones who will succeed. That's the point. And for a long time, I want to tell you how I got here. As a personal story, and I'm hoping I get through it without crying because you know how I am. The reason I got here, people who do what no one else will do, are the ones who will succeed. I want to tell you the truth about how I got here. I know a lot of people think that we are born with silver spoons in our mouths, and you know we weren't. But I was born at a time where being gay was absolutely the most hated thing on the planet. Some people told us we should die or be hung or be killed off like we were just vermin on the planet. That's what I grew up with in my, teens and 20s and 30s. And it wasn't until President Obama where it was even legal for me to get married or have the same rights as other people did. And one of the ways that I had to protect my family when I was with children and things meant that I either had to have 2 insurance policies, 2 of everything. I had to have 2 of everything. And I just that wasn't working for me. And I didn't like the fact that no matter what job I was at, as soon as they find out you're gay, the rumor mill and people and how they treat you is different and everything else. It was so horrible to live that life. I couldn't live it. I couldn't be it. I couldn't do it. And I didn't want to feel so horrible about myself, because nobody gets up in the morning and says, well, I run a really crappy, hard life, so I guess I'll be gay. And that's not what people say. And so what happens is that you have to work harder or better or quicker or more differently. And I figured that in the beginning, the way I would get through it is that if I was better than everybody else, I mean, so far above the top, everybody had picked you. Like, I want to be, after the boys were picked, the first girl that was picked for softball. And not only that, I wanted to be picked ahead of some of the boys. And I remember what that was like. You had two team captains and they'll say, I'm taking this person. You knew that was the best person. Then the other captain would go, I want that person. I want that person. I wanted to be so good at whatever I did that people would say, well, yeah, she's gay, but it's okay because she's really good at this. That's how my mind decided it could get through life. So I became an overachiever, and not just an overachiever. It's like, if you've wrote one book, I've wrote 5. If you wrote one article, I wrote, 20. If you've wrote, and I've wrote them really well, whatever I did because I wanted people to like me. And that's actually how I became good at what I was doing. I grew up in a time where it wasn't acceptable to be who I was as I was. And so I started trying to polish me up and make me look more important or more valuable or more something. That's how I got here. It was my bad self-esteem, my self-hate about who I was. So you don't know where the spark of you is going to grow or be out. And now to have as much success and freedom and everything else that I have right now, including monetary value, if somebody said you have to go through this in order to get it, I would have gone through it anyway. So whatever you are, wherever you are, whatever you believe about yourself, it's just a story. And that story is changeable, transferable. Now I'm so well loved. I'm well loved by my friends and my fans and my people who read my book. And I'm not just loved like adored. I'm loved where my friends hold me accountable. I'm loved so much and trusted so much that they can say, I think we need to add this, or maybe you shouldn't do that, or whatever. I'm loved by people who want to be honest with me, who want to hold me accountable, who want to be accountable with me, who want to make a difference in the world, who want to do great things in the world. And you can surround yourself with that by being truthful about yourself. You got to get to the core of the wounded part of you that came out. And it's really important for me to say this. It doesn't matter where your wound is. You got to go deep into that wound because your pearl is in that area. You got to be able to say, I hated myself so much that I wanted to die or not be here. I wished I wasn't born. But you're here for that particular reason. And it doesn't mean I'm perfect. It means I'm honest and that I'm authentic. And I try to share with, here's me, warts and all. This is who I am. And it's not perfect. This world is a bloodbath to be in. There's some beautiful things. It's got beautiful lakes and rivers and mountains and skies, and it's got beautiful food, and there are beautiful experiences. But if you don't own your mind, it's a bloodbath for you. It's a bloodbath of everybody controlling how you feel about you. It's a bloodbath about what you think you're capable or what you think is possible for you in this world. And the only way out is through. The only way out is through you, not outside of you. It's inside of you, where you have to find that, your individuality, your originality, and your purpose and potential. And if only you love it, everyone else will love it. If you hate it, everyone else will hate it. They do exactly what you do. Let's see. I want to go back up here. I see you guys. Thank you, Brian, for this over here. That was really beautiful. Let's see. I want to, and I have, yes, thank you. I did go over that. You must have a sunburn from writing. Yes, thank you. Okay, here I am. People who do what no one else will do are the ones who will succeed. That's how that came through. Yes, Brian, the majority of people spend their entire lives not realizing the stories in their head, and they're completely fabricated, and they let them stay there. The beauty of us is we're like clay, we're moldable. We have all these, we're like yesterday, we talked about being a Swiss Army knife. You have so many things. It's like, hi, I only use the knife to do everything, and that's who I am. There is so much of that is there. Yes, that's absolutely truthful. Thank you. Wow, I could see that though. I know some others who did that. That also sad truth. Yes. And now look at you. Yes, that's the thing that you have to be there for. You are loved and respected. Yes, yes, I am. But mostly because I love and respect myself. Thank you. Get to the core of the wounded part of you. Dig deep. Find the pearl that is hidden there. Vickie Helm. Yes. Everyone has at least one $1 million idea. Everyone has something that will set them financially free, give them the love they want, give them a purpose. All of you are born with that little egg inside you that, that Easter egg, you pop that little Easter egg open, all these goodies fly out, and that can become your life. That's like having your superpowers. But I want to let you know, the biggest superpower you have is right here between your ears. And you have to be able to get in the driver's seat of that and drive it instead of it driving you. Let's see, what do we got here? Lisa says, yep, I went through a lot also for a different reason. You have to face it head on. And when you reach the other side is where you are supposed to be. Yes. To thine own self be true. My mother said this to me when I was younger and I was dealing with being gay. And I said, Mom, I've just prayed and prayed and prayed. And she was like, well, to thine own self be true. You know you're gay or not. And I was like trying to give it to God, trying to give it to God, trying to give it to God. My mom looked at me and she said, Vickie, God gave this to you and he doesn't want it back. We think sometimes that we give everything to God. What if God gave that to you and he didn't want it back? He wanted you to utilize it, work with it, and become and do something different with it. Everyone is deserving of love. That's right. Everything and everyone is deserving of love. Humans can forget that. Different for them. Yes, everything is deserving of love. Exactly. Yes, exactly. You start with love and respect for yourself. Most important foundation. Yes, that's right. Thank you. This is something that is so important. You're not going to feel like getting to the core of you. You're going to be defensive. Most people are defensive when somebody says, do you do this? They go, well, you do it too. Or I've seen this. They can't even take a moment and say, yeah, I just don't feel like it. I just don't feel like being honest. So I'll say a white lie. I just don't feel like it. So I'm not going to say anything in this conversation. So people don't know what happened to me. I just don't feel like it. So, I'm not going to risk going out there and doing something. If you live and I just don't feel like it, life, you are like the masses. In order to step out of that, you have to step into you, take a hold of who you are, and keep going outward from your soul, not your mind. You got to train your mind. Every time I tell myself a story, I'm like, I do a story time and I stop it right then. I make the practice of not saying stories about people and things based on my brain, because most of the time it's wrong. I don't bat 1,000 at that, but I try to do it and keep getting a better batting average at that. I want to let you know that here's what I know. I know for me that whatever God was, he put a lot of time into developing my life and my lessons and how I'm supposed to be and what I can learn and what opportunities are there for me. I think that he made the perfect moment for me to learn and grow and be in each and every moment. And in order to do that, even if I just don't feel like it, I have to make myself do it sometimes and get up anyway. I hope that you have ventured into my world and had a discovery for yourself today. I believe in you and I feel like sharing with you. I'll see you guys tomorrow. We have a Wednesday welcome guest. I want you to know something. Tomorrow is my birthday, and we have Chris Salem on the show. That's right. My birthday, Chris Salem on the show. We are going to rock the house. Thank you. Thank you so much for being with me today. That's the Coffee Break Show. Mwah! Peace out. I'll see you later. Be there.